Well, my name is Ramon Cuevas. I work for Washington Fruit and Produce. I've been working with them for coming up on 13 years. Migrated here when I was 3 with my parents. We went through the whole legal process when I was 11. Graduated from Sela High School, went to WSU. This program I think is really interesting to me because I can relate to a lot of the target kids and some of the kids that are going that really need the help because it was tough. It was tough going to college when I was growing up. With this great program, I think it helps. It opens doors, possibilities, giving back to the community, kids having role models, support systems. I can relate to them quite a bit. I come from a farm working community, grew up in the orchard. My dad was a foreman. Grew up weed spraying, grew up picking apples, picking cherries, thinning, everything that had to do the farm, we did it. That's the only thing we ever knew. When there was a possibility of going to college, that was foreign. There was no idea if that was a possibility. We had no role models. Like I said, first time generation, so we didn't know anybody here. It was really cool to break that barrier, break that ceiling, set an example for future generations, and I can only say in my family, but hopefully we can be used as a role model for other people. Importance of WAEF in our community, the way I look at it, is renewal scholarships, the ongoing scholarship program. But the biggest thing, I think, is the support. People that are going to college for the first time or the first ones in their family going to college, they don't have a support system. Parents don't know what it's like, trying to cram a midterm at 3, 4 in the morning. They don't know what students are going through, the stress level, the anxieties, the language barrier, the culture barrier. Sometimes you have to break through. But having somebody like WAEF, where familiar faces on the other side that have gone through it, and they can give some support, some guidance, somebody to talk to if they need to, I think is great. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that they can see that, hey, you know what, I see it can be done, and it motivates them to achieve it. And all they need is a little bit of hope. It goes a long way. My daughter is a recipient through the WAEF scholarship program. She was super excited to receive it. She's taking full advantage of it. She's going to Grand Canyon University. She's a very driven individual. One of her biggest concerns was not to be a burden on us. She's fantastic. Very proud of her. She's always been very, very independent. I can really relate to her a lot because being the first, you want to set the example for your younger brothers and sisters that it can be done. Knowing how expensive college is, she was doing everything she could. When WAEF came through, she was super excited to receive it, to be a participant. Was very grateful. She wrote a fantastic letter of gratitude. She's going to be graduating this December. Extremely proud of her. Couldn't ask for anything better, and especially of her. She's really broken a lot of barriers that I think that were really challenging for her. And being a woman and of color, proud of her. Well, the golf tournament and how I heard about it and got involved is when I first started the industry. Before that, I didn't even know what WAEF was. Once I graduated from WSU, I was working at a finance firm, no idea what WAEF was. Then I started working at it was a nursery. Again, no idea what WAEF was. Not until I got to Washington Fruit 13 years ago or so, I started hearing about WAEF. And they said, hey, WAEF has this golf deal. At the time, my kids were young, so I was like, scholarships in college was way in the distance. And I was like, well, that sounds like a lot of fun. I like the golf. And the company really supported it. We've always put teams in, vendors. I mean, it's just an awesome tournament because it gets the whole agricultural community together. And that one day, they're not salesmen. They're not vendors. They're not buyers. It's just a bunch of people getting together and having a good time. And WAEF has done a fantastic job in putting it together. They make it really fun, but I know there's a ton of interest in it. That's how I started getting involved in it. In golfing, I used to just golf Yakima, and then the last few years we started golfing Wenatchee and Yakima. I'll be happy to continue to support WAEF in that regard. Also got, when the license plates came out, I thought that was a really cool idea. So I'm number 383. I was trying to get them higher, but I think too many people were excited as I was to get the license plates, but I think those are really cool. I keep talking them up, and whenever we can, we try to volunteer or do things, fundraisers. We try to get involved. What stands out to me and what makes WAEF different than other golf events that I've gone to, and I do go to quite a bit of them. Funnest things is when, that I just remember is we're here at hole number 4, I believe, here at the apple tree. It was hot. It was a hot day. It was hot, I think it was like in the 90s. There was a couple gals out there with just like water guns. And so everybody would walk through or play through, they'd just drench us in water. And I was like, that was fun because everybody, you're a kid at heart when it's like basically playing with water balloons out there again. And so that was fun. I like that part of it. And then every hole there seemed to be something going on. And people that are there, usually they're volunteers, and they have a big smile on their faces. They're happy to be there for it's a great cause. And it's just a positive environment. Some of the other tournaments, you don't get that vibe. You're just another, oh, hey, your next hole's that way, or very little interaction with everybody. And it just seems like when you're golfing at these things, you know everybody that's driving by. It's like, oh, that's so and so. You pull over, you say hello, and you have a quick joke for them. They have a quick joke for you, and you laugh, and you're on your way. And it just seems like that. It's all day, before you know it, you've been out there 4 hours, and it's like, man, it seems like a long time, but it was very entertaining time to spend. And if you're if you're going to spend time on anything, make sure you're having a great time. And this is one of the events that I think that separates them kind of apart from everything else. A lot of times you don't know people at these tournaments. You're invited, and you're like, oh, I don't know anybody. You don't know who you're sitting with, and it's just you're just out there more playing golf than really socializing. And I don't look at this as a golf tournament, really. I just look at it as a social hour. It's a big social event for the community. So I think that's fun. I really look forward to May 1st this year to see a lot of the people from around the state. And sometimes I enjoy the Wenatchee one because same thing. There's people there that I don't get a chance to see. They can't come to the Yakima one. And maybe someday you'll make a Tri-Cities one as well. So that would be fantastic. I know there's a lot of people there that would love to support this. But for now, I look forward to it, to say hello to people and give them a hug and see how they're doing. A big thank you to all the donors. I think without everybody contributing, I'm telling you, you have a huge impact on kids' lives, a huge impact on reaching some goals that sometimes seem unachievable. And big shout out to Fabiola and her entire staff they work diligently to try to make school as a positive experience as they can, and knowing that there's support staff behind those kids. Those goodie bags go a long way, especially during the holidays when they get homesick. I can talk to you from experience. That was something for, when my daughter got it, she's like, hey, Dad, I got this. What is this? I was like, well, that's just a support staff. Something for you to know that there's other people out there that really care about you, and they're thinking about you, and they want you to be successful. And that was really cool for her to be. It kind of breaks the monotony of the day-to-day stuff and, the stress that they put themselves under, even though that, hey, they know that the day will end and a new day will begin. But they kind of get caught in the moment of there's no way out. I'm drowning in a glass of water. And that just kind of opens their eyes up a little bit and say, hey, you know what? This is bigger than me. It's bigger than now. And there's somebody out there that's wishing me the best. So keep that up. Again, big shout out to everybody. Hope to see you in May 1st, and love to whoop you on some golf.